Hey there, CIS276. In this session 4, which means we all are, bleh, my coffee is wearing off. We are already halfway through the course after this week. So that's exciting. It's a benchmark. There's no midterm or anything, but it's a benchmark nonetheless. We go over chapter 5, which is loops. So if in chapter 4 you started making decisions, you would weigh two alternative actions based on an input. And that's all well and good, but you'll notice that you had to code everything the hard way. There was no availability to go through and do things again and again and again and again. And as a matter of fact, the password challenge was really there partially to demonstrate that it is difficult without repetition. So the structures you'll see here in chapter 5 to create an environment where a user can enter a password again and again and again. So here we will finally see the mechanics of being able to do that. There are 3 different looping structures that you are going to see here. They all of them have different considerations that make them appropriate at different times. So one of the things I think is it's going to weigh on some of you a little bit heavily, especially when you get down to the challenge problems with the vending machine or the gas pump, is which of the looping structures is the correct one. Now, I have to give you the terrible, albeit correct, answer on this is the correct looping structure is the one that you build your logic around. There is no right answer here. And I know for some of you that is going to feel like entrapment, whereas for others of you that is going to feel, freeing because you get to make your own damn decisions here about which one of these loops we can use. And it's still true. You get to make your own damn decision here about which one of these loops you need to use. Some people dig it, some people don't. But I would say as a developer, that's the situation you really want to have, is being able to, build the logic around how it is that your brain works so that you can solve a problem that makes sense to you, that when you hand off to your client, right, the end user, they're going to be able to go, I see what you're doing here with the inputs, and it's not going to matter what's on the back end because that, those logical procedures, all of that is behind a closed door. It's behind the input and the output and the user interaction. They're never going to see what goes on with that logic. So the logical structure you choose there for your looping is up to you. Also, just remember to keep being mindful that there are 2 I call them parts, right? 2 parts to each session. So there's nothing different here. There's part 1 that deals with the chapter material, part 2 that deals with the challenge problems. And the very last thing I'm going to mention here before I turn you loose to go ahead and get some of this work done here, is it is okay to reuse code. One of the things you're going to start noticing here, now that we have a couple of weeks of good material behind us, with chapter 3 we have formatting of output, with chapter 4 we have decision structures, here in chapter 5 we're going to have looping structures. You are building a code base that you can reuse some of that code later on. So my suggestion to you is do the vending machine first and retrofit it so that you can complete the gas pump challenge without having to start from scratch. Now, for some of you, that's going to be like heresy. Everything gets started from scratch. And what I'll tell you is, as a developer, we don't want to start anything from scratch. It's like building a new wheel every time. If I can look around and identify a wheel that's exactly right and I don't have to build it, that's all the better. So don't be afraid to reuse your previous code and make your life easier. It's okay. As always, if you have any questions or comments, reach out so that I know you have them. Don't wait until you hand in an assignment and say, I didn't know what to do on question number 4, because you're not going to get any points for that. And there's not much I can work with there. But reaching out earlier, starting a conversation, developing the start of a solution and working our way through to a complete solution is a damn sight better than and not getting what you need done out of that. So please don't go dark on those questions, because I'm not going to chase you for them. I'm just going to go, you probably could have asked and gotten some points out of this, and whatever irrevocable damage it does, it does. So that is what is on your docket for this week, CIS 276. You're going to need to start getting at that.